let's get back to it. The patch is on the 12th. So I have basically between now and Thursday to get this done. We will have a 24-hour maintenance on next Monday. So I'll be in Guild Wars 2 on the 11th, I believe that is, by math. So we have 4 days. If I look at where I am, obviously the last couple weeks have not gone entirely to plan. So we've fallen a little behind. So we are at Wrath of Titan. There is a MSQ progress website. How far? MSQ FFXIV progress? I don't remember what it's called. MSQ tracker? Yes, MSQ tracker. Let me bookmark this. This is, it's absolutely amazing. Yes. Okay. So what this website does is you can type in Wrath of the Titan. So you type in whatever quest you're on, and it tells you how far you've made it. So in however many streams it was before, I made it 45% of the way through all of A Realm Reborn. That does include 2.x. So we've got some quests here that I don't have to have done before the 12th. There we go. Okay. And so then they're tracking this. This looks like they've broken it down from the New Game Plus standpoint, I believe. So, part 1, part 2, we're moving through. 17 quests is a lot, because at this point it's all very much Prey Return. I assume that these are getting into 2.x. It's 5 and 6. So, I don't know. But I just finished Hawk Manor. So because we just finished Hawk Manor, I can also say ARR Dungeons. And I can look at where I am. So I have seen Sestasha, Tamtara, Copperbell, Holotali, which I did not do because I'm only doing MSQ dungeons. That's an optional dungeon. We did Todorok and Hawk. So I've still got Brayflocks, Karn. I get to skip Stone Vigil and Cutter's Cry. We get into Stone Vigil, skip Dazamel, skip Arum Vale. Then we are into Castrum and Praetorium. Now there's going to be some trials along the way as well. So that'll be kind of the way of updating that. So good morning. Gannery, how are you? Let's get to it. I'm getting kind of fuzzy here. What happened? Probably bumped some of my lights over the weekend. That seems better. No, that's way worse. How could you be worse? I think this one's supposed to be faced more like this. Look at that. No fuzz. Okay, cool. I was getting a bit of a hot spot. I don't know. But yeah, I missed the last couple weeks of streaming. Had a lot going on, and so it's good to be back. Let's see what Minfilia is up to here. Please be voiced. Please be voiced. The Maelstrom requests our assistance. Concerning the kobolds, they sent such copious notes, I presume? Yes and no. It has more to do with their findings, which portend a peril far greater than any beast tribe. What sort of peril? The worst kind. A tribe of kobolds in the vicinity of Limsa Lominsa has reawakened Titan. Our task will be to slay the primal, The Maelstrom have sworn support for the endeavor. They are no strangers to the havoc kobolds can wreak. Years before Grand Company's reformation, two primals, Leviathan and Titan, chanced to converge upon the seawall, wreaking untold devastation. There, by the grace of the Navigator, were the mercenaries Merlwyb hired to fend them off. Yet it did not take long for the beast tribes to regroup, and they summoned their primals once more. Thankfully, the second coming was decidedly short-lived, but that is besides the point. So long as tormented souls will them to exist, the realm will never be rid of the primals. The Maelstrom has kept a watchful eye on the beast tribes, the kobolds in particular, ever since. Which brings us to the matter at hand. Unlike Ifrit, we scarcely know anything of Titan. Unfortunately, the only force known to have bested him, the modestly named Company of Heroes, disbanded 5 years since. When mercenaries are not in the habit of keeping chronicles. Expect the worst. The Maelstrom's help is of course appreciated, but even if we had their whole armada at our disposal, we could find ourselves overmatched. A pity the kobolds lack the gentle sensibilities of the sylphs. A peaceful resolution would be more than welcome. The echo will not avail you this time, I fear. If you are to survive, your steel must needs speak for you. No one would think you a coward were you to decline. So you will accept? Thank you. We can't very well send him to Limsa Lamidsa without Y'shtola, can we, Mephilia? May I ask that of you, Y'shtola? I never thought it in question. Ever reliable. Very well. We will spare no effort to win victory. You may count on the full support of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and not all afield will aid the fight from afar. Thancred, Ira, go to the Grand Companies, tell them of our plight, and solicit their support. Oriange, send word to the students of Baldessian and Alphino, if you would. Babalimo, compile all the information we have on Titan, though it may be some weird phrasing there. You'll be apprised of the tactical situation when you reach the Sailor's Ward. Provision yourself for the journey. May you walk in the light of the crystal. That's such a kinder phrase than pray return. May you walk in the light of the crystal. Absolutely beautiful. Alright. Do I still have road to 80? How long do I keep that? 90 days, I think? It eventually falls off, the road to 80. And so, like, it'd be nice if along the way I kind of leveled up as many jobs as possible, but I don't know that I really have time this week. What level's this quest? It's 30. I am level... So I did all of the Gridanian ones last time. Got them all to 35, which was great. It takes a couple hours to get to level 30. It's shockingly quick. Yeah. Shockingly quick. Let's see here. Turn this to me a little more. If that cuts back on the noise when it cuts to black screens. So I need to go to Limsa. So the question is, do I have time this week to pick up another job? I doubt it. I probably just need to strap in and charge on with the 3 that I have. I think when I get to dungeons, we're going to have to run them as White Mage so that I get the faster Q. It's possible at some point this week I have to move to unsynced, just so that there's no wait time and so that it just falls over. But moving right along. I've enjoyed the class quests. I think the class quests give a lot of context. So I do think the more thorough way to enjoy the story is to do all the class quests. So I think prior to doing 2.x, I would like to go back and finish all of the sub 50 class quests of at least the jobs that were available maybe to the start of Heavensward. I think you do Dark Knight in Heavensward. Ninja was added late, I think, if I remember correctly. But I don't think you do Red Mage yet. I don't think you do Dancer, Gunbreaker, Samurai. I think all that's saved. But I do think it'd be nice to kind of, like, go grab the Arcanist stuff, the Warrior stuff, Paladin. Especially because if I spend time in Limsa, I think it would add a lot of context. Because I really enjoyed the Gridania stuff as a set. Like, it's not so much about, like, the Dragoon quest has been enjoyable, the Bard quest has been enjoyable, White Mage has been enjoyable, but when you combine them, there's a ton of overlap. So maybe that's the right way. And hello, everybody. It's good to be back. It's good to see you guys. I did get to stream Friday for the live letter. That was my first stream back in almost 2 weeks. Right at 2 weeks, something like that. Been to Romania and back. If you guys want to know how that part of the world is doing, feel free to follow Zeppela's tweets. I will warn you, that part of the world's not doing very well. So, those tweets may have links to some graphic stuff. But Ukraine's in a rough spot, and by its very nature, the countries around it are absorbing large amounts of people in need. So, good to be back. I really thought that I was going somewhere a lot further removed, and like it was a lot more impacted than I thought it would be. I wasn't in danger, but it didn't feel like the last time I was there. So, when I was there on vacation back in, I don't know, 2018 or something like that. Cloud, thank you so much for 11 months of support. So I am a Maelstrom member. So hopefully, I don't know if these quests change at all, but hopefully there's some level of respect for, like, if this is your grand company. Hopefully there's, like, 2 versions, right? One for 1/3 of players, one for the other 2/3. Here we go. Good to see you, Private Derplander. The Scion sent word that you were on your way. To business, then. It is as we told the antecedent. The kobolds have once again summoned Titan. A little over a moon ago, we began to observe the beastmen moving south in increasing numbers from Gomoro. Our scouts subsequently confirmed their object of their aggression. Crystals, fodder for their fell primal. Thank you, High Commander. You may leave the rest to me. Your deeds bring glory to the Maelstrom, Private Derplander. Right proud I am to call you one of our own. Forgive the lack of forewarning, High Commander. The Admiral wished to address Meteor personally. We are no strangers to conflict. Long have the Sahagin and the kobolds plagued our people, nor is this the first time we have to address a primal threat. In the past, when Titan rose to threaten the peace, it was the company of heroes we turned. But they are long disbanded, and we must look to other brave souls blessed with the strength to face this foe. So it is that we turn now to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, confident in the belief that you are Limsa's best hope. I hope you are right. Yet the aggression is far from simple. The kobolds are not prone to unprovoked aggression. Did not the Thalassocracy make a pact with the beastmen that each would keep their own lands, that no blood would be shed? And was it not the Lemensons who violated this agreement, dissatisfied with their lot? Shall we then condemn the beast tribes for defending their homes? Even a pirate must one day reap what she has sown. I would advise you choose your words with greater care, Lady Yashola. Stand down, High Commander. She has the right of it. And the wrong is mine. Freely do I claim it, yet it makes little difference. Remorse will not shield us from Titan's wrath, or would you have us fall upon our swords? My apologies, Admiral. The safety and security of Limsa Limit's citizenry are, of course, a paramount concern. Already, we have observed disruptions in the flow of the ether further inland. The effects will be felt here in the city ere long. I ask much of you, I know. But the need is great. I can trust I can count on you, Private. You have my thanks. Along with the full support of the Maelstrom, I await good tidings. That the kobolds should summon its Titan demonstrates they are no longer amenable to negotiation. This being the case, we must needs prepare for conflict before we meet Titan in the field. However, it would be wise that we learn all we can of our foe, and I can think of no better source of information than the mercenaries who defeated him once before. The company of heroes may be no more, but several of its former members still alive. It's said that one of them employed at the Grey Fleet mills in Lower Lenosha. Quite why a mercenary should choose to become a miller, I do not know. When you find him, mayhap you could ask him for me. I, meanwhile, shall seek his fellows. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the green screen. It's first day back, so I'll tell you this cable shouldn't be there. See if that fixes some of it. Because I think it was pulling on this and shouldn't have been. I should be able to get this close with no issue. Close. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then this off a white screen. And then far. A little bit. But better. Minor adjustments. They're not fixed lights or anything. They're just lights. So they're just like... So. I'd like to at some point get them where I want them and then go buy like some wall clamps and attach them so that they don't come in and out. Some of it's hard because like as the lighting from the screen changes, I'm close enough to the screen that changes the way I'm lit. I need to do another coat of paint on the wall too. Put it on the list. The number of like $30 could be done in a start to finish in a day. Things that need to be done around the house are enormous. Chili, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Nace Keck. Thank you guys. Brian set a sub goal for us. I don't know how he picked 300, but they all make a difference. I do appreciate it. Okay. So the question is now, I am on Wrath of Titan. Do I start another job? That's the question. Do I start another job here in Limsa? And if I start one, I should start all the ones that start here. The ones that start here are Astrologian, Marauder, Rogue. It's not Astro, is it? It's Arcanist. And then Ul'dah starts Thaumaturge, Gladiator. Yeah, Astro's in Foundation with, I think Machinist starts in Foundation too? Dark Knight's in Foundation? Machinist may not. Do the Arcanist? So, the Arcanist is one of the handful of quests that I've done, like, actually done in my life. And I remember it teaching me a lot about Ether. As opposed to the Warrior quest line, which I think is about, like, a kid's bravery and us, like, basically hunting a giant bull. And so, like, that's not as big of a deal. That being said, the White Mage was about the way the Shroud functions and the history of the Shroud and moving forward what needs to be done to maintain the Shroud. And the Dragoon was this, like, inner journey and all about, like, strengthening yourself and resolve and all that. So it doesn't really mean anything in world building. Unless you do the Dragoon and the Conjurer quests, because the Dragoon plus the Conjurer quests actually resulted in some weird stuff where, like, the Conjurers were like, why is somebody poisoning these trees? What is happening? And the Dragoons are like, to test your mettle, go poison these streams, these trees. And so, like, you learn that, like, what the Conjurers are struggling with is partially the Dragoons. Like, the Lancers are causing the problems that the Conjurers are seeing. Maybe not exclusively, but they are definitely taking part. And then the Bard was, like, great insight on how the political drama in the area plays out. It exposes some of the underlying racism in the true sense of the word in Final Fantasy, where there's literal races of, like, elves versus cat people that don't get along. See, it's when the hands come forward. Don't do the hands. Keep them to yourself. Hands. Green screen can't do it. Can't be done. I'm figuring it out. Okay. And so I do wonder if in hindsight, if I did the Marauder and the Arcanist around the same time, like if I did Arcanist today and Marauder tomorrow, are there things in the Marauder quest that seem less meh, as you put it, because they reveal context? So I think of the ones that start here, Arcanist is probably the greatest world builder. And so I did Conjurer first. So I would say do Arcanist first, and then do the others. Are there just 2 jobs that start here? Rogue starts here. Rogue starts here. And the Rogue questline was written by the lady that wrote the Dark Knight questline, who wrote Endwalker. So I should, right? So I should also do Rogue, because I think Rogue is going to be kind of the core diplomatic lore of this city, in the same way that the Archer taught us a lot about the political side to Gridania. So maybe there's like a world building and a self building and a political in each city. I don't know. I don't know all the class and job quests well. Some of them I don't know at all. So, Phil, thank you so much for 20 months. It's good to be home. I think this is the plan. I think I need to do this one. Plus, with Road to 80, it's super fast. Welcome to the Arcanist Guild. Is it here that we research and develop a field of arcanemia? Arcanema? Arcanema is the science of employing arcane geometries, intricate patterns that map the unlocked mysteries of existence, to draw forth and manipulate the body's etheric energies. If you prefer an arcane art built on structured thought and precise reasoning, then your discerning intellect may find you a home here at our guild. Might you consider enrolling yourself as an initiate? Yeah. Ah, just as I predicted. Before we proceed any further, however, let us first feed your appetite for knowledge with a morsel of guild history. The roots of Arcanema can be traced back to the esoteric calculations practiced by the people of the South Sea Isles. It was these island folk that first discovered a method to express natural phenomena in mathematical terms. Building on this process, the existing mathematical formula were further developed into arcane geometries, precise patterns that allowed a practitioner to weave ether into specific magical effects. The mages who invoked this new form of magic became known as arcanists, and the school of Arcanema was born. Many such mages, wishing to expand their understanding of the world, took to the seas aboard the trading vessels. Upon their arrival in Limsa Lamensa, arcanists found themselves welcomed into the academic elite, and soon secured positions in the realm's governance and council. The knowledge of an arcanist, however, is traditionally passed on to a master to chosen disciple. As such, Admiral Merwin, counting several wielders of Arcanema among her personal staff, became concerned that this exclusionary practice would lead to the eventual extinction of the art. So, at the Admiral's express orders, an official Arcanist Guild was established and funding was provided for research and training. The complex and demanding nature of Arcanema, however, remains the greatest threat to its own future. If you invite such cerebral challenges, then you have but to reaffirm your commitment to joining our guild. Well, have you decided to enroll in our guild? Or are you now intimidated by the thought of excessive thinking? Your sound judgment is to be commended. Now standard practices dictate, and I introduce you to our guildmaster that you might convey your intentions in person. Due to extraordinary circumstances, however, he is unreachable at present. Instead, you may speak with Mistress Thubigream. Thubigream? She has shouldered full responsibility for the guild's leadership in the interim. You will find her just over there, by the bookshelves. You needn't be shy, though her mind is sharp and critical, her manner is always most welcoming. We just point at people? Oh. Hello. Why do people make new characters in this game? Because New Game Plus includes all class quests, role quests, MSQ quests, trial quests, there is less and less reason to take on a new character beyond if you are into RP and you want more than one character. If you are a raider and you want more than one lockout because maybe you want to clear Savage on tanks and get tank loot, and then you want to clear it again on a healer and get healer loot. So you have a second character that has not done its weekly lockouts so that you can gear up tanks and healers at the maximum possible pace. Or like me, you want to be able to do quests that are not yet included in New Game Plus. So I want to go back and replay Beast Tribes. I want to go back and replay some of the instrumental side quests. And those have not yet been added. And so a new character is the solution. Guys, thank you so much for the support. Nagisa, 9 months. Thank you. Good morning, Glenn. Other than that, like in the past, you had to create characters to play with friends on different servers. Because of server visit, as long as they're on the same data center, that's fine. However, because of data center migrations and stuff over the years, even some of those friend groups have fractured. Or you've met somebody in real life that plays on Primal and you play on Ether or something like that. As of 6.18, probably this... let's call it July for just an arbitrary future date that's probably in the approximate about time. Sometime in, let's say, July, we should get the ability to jump to other data centers as long as they are within our region. And so it still doesn't help EU players that want to play with NA or Oceanic or like, there's still limitations, but it's way better. It's way better. So they're getting there. I started a character on Oceanic because I want to start a new character. My server was locked at the time. And so if I was not going to be able to play on my server, where the retainers would be able to help me make materials for my main, then I wanted to go to a server that had the Road to 80 buff. The downside of playing on Oceanic is I will have ping issues, but I'm not doing Savage on this character. And the nice thing is as I do story, like what I'm about to do here with the Arcanist story, because of this buff, I am going to level outrageously fast. Which is awesome.